In this video, we will show you how to file a California firearm and ammunition excise tax return. We protect all the confidential information you provide to us. First, go to our website, cdtfa.ca.gov, and at the top, click on Login. That will take you to the Online Services Login page. You must log in with a username and password. For assistance with creating a username and password, please watch our video tutorials online. On the CDTFA Online Services Login page, we will enter our username and password. Then click Login. On the Online Services Profile page, under the Accounts tab, we will click on the California Firearm and Ammunition Excise Tax hyperlink. This will take us to the California Firearm and Ammunition Excise Tax account page. Under the Periods tab, find the return period for which you would like to file. In our example, we will file for the period of July 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2024, which is displayed by its return end date of September 30th, 2024. Click on the File Return hyperlink. This brings us to the Gross Sales page. Here you will enter your gross receipts from the total retail sales of any firearms, firearm precursor parts, and ammunition in California. When calculating the California Firearm and Ammunition Excise Tax, CFET, gross receipts, be sure to include the sales price of the firearms, firearm precursor parts, ammunition, and all charges related to the sale, such as any business expenses separately added to any taxable sale listed separately on the invoice or receipt provided to the purchaser. State fees collected at the time of sale that are paid by the purchaser are not subject to the CFET and should be excluded. For example, the State of California Department of Justice, DOJ, dealer record of sale fee, firearm safety fee, safety reinforcement fee, and sales and use tax would not be included when calculating the CFET. Also, sales and use tax separately stated on the invoice or receipt should not be included in the gross receipts for CFET. In our example, we have $12,895 in gross receipts from the sale of firearms, firearm precursor parts, and ammunition. Please note, if the total gross receipts from the retail sales of firearms, firearm precursor parts, and ammunition are less than $5,000 in any quarterly period, those gross receipts are exempt from CFET. The exemption will be automatically calculated when the total gross receipts amount entered is less than $5,000. After entering gross receipts, click Next. This brings us to the California Firearm and Ammunition Excise Tax CFET information page, where we will enter CFET exemptions for retail sales to active or retired peace officers or law enforcement agencies employing a peace officer. The total gross receipts amount for retail sales are automatically populated from the previous page. Enter total gross receipts amount for the retail sales to active or retired peace officers or to law enforcement agencies employing a peace officer on the exemptions line. In our example, we had $1,447 in gross receipts from retail sales to peace officers or law enforcement agencies. The gross receipts from retail sales of firearms, firearm precursor parts, and ammunition subject to excise tax will be calculated for you. The subtotal of CFET due is calculated for you based on the rate of this reporting period. Any rates reflected in this example are for illustration purposes only. You can view current rates at our website, cdtfa.ca.gov. For help with your return, you can click on the hyperlink Online Filing Instructions. If you choose, you can save your work at any time by clicking the Save Draft button. Enter your password, then click OK. You will then be directed to a confirmation page. Now that you've saved your draft, let's go back to filing your return. Click on the Continue Editing button. Now we are back to your return. After entering our figures, we will click the Next button to continue. This brings us to the Excess California Firearm and Ammunition Excise Tax CFET Reimbursement Collected page. Collecting excess CFET reimbursement can occur when mathematical or clerical errors result in an overstatement of the CFET amount due on a billing, or when the CFET is computed on a transaction which is not subject to the CFET on an amount in excess of the amount subject to the CFET, or using a CFET rate higher than the rate imposed by law. If you have separately charged your customers amounts for CFET reimbursement that exceed the CFET amount due calculated on the return, enter the difference in the excess CFET reimbursement collected field. In our example, we collected $44 in excess CFET reimbursement. Once you've entered your figures, click Next to continue. Review the summary page. If you need to make an adjustment, click Previous. If the information displayed on the page is correct, click Next. On the Your Information page, review the information and make changes if necessary. Answer the question, are you a paid preparer? In our example, we are not a paid preparer and will select No. Next, enter the required information. When all required fields are completed, click Submit. When you click Submit, a window will appear to confirm your intent to file electronically and that your return is true, correct, and complete. Please read this information carefully. Enter your password, and then click OK to submit. This confirmation page represents a return filing only. Take note of your confirmation number and the total amount due. To print your submitted return, click on the Print Return button. To make an electronic payment, click on the Make a Payment button. We recommend that you print this page. If you still have questions, please call our Customer Service Center at 1-800-400-7115, TTY 711, and select Special Taxes and Fees.